People assume that the hidden costs of living full-time on cruise ships are financial. Expenses like gratuities and Wi-Fi, laundry, specialty dining, and spa. But for me, they're not financial. I knew the approximate cost of those items before I started doing this, and I kind of already knew which ones that I was going to get on a regular basis and which ones I was going to skip. So for me, the hidden costs of living full-time on cruise ships have absolutely nothing to do with finances. And if you're considering this lifestyle long-term, you should be prepared. The real hidden costs are the things that people don't think about until they've already committed to this lifestyle. The first thing that is a hidden cost are your social circle changes. So you are going to miss out on birthday parties. I miss out on some holidays, on family dinners, cookouts. Went last 4th of July, but I missed the previous 4th of July, or vice versa. I can't remember. But obviously I can't be there for all the holidays when this is my lifestyle. But I do try and go back for some holidays. For Thanksgiving, I was actually in transit from California to go to Orlando to hang out with my Orlando family, but I was flying on Thanksgiving Day, so I didn't really technically have Thanksgiving with the family, even though it was a belated Thanksgiving. But I didn't get to have Christmas because I was on a ship on Christmas, and that was something that I chose to do, and it's because this is my life now. So some days I'll get to spend Christmas with family and some days I won't. Just like for grandparents who live up north in the US, live up north or live in different states, and then the grandparent goes and retire in Florida. They don't always get to go and hang out with family during all of the special occasions. You miss out on things like grandkids recitals, those giant hugs that you used to get when they finished something like a swimming lesson because they were able to complete a full lap in the swimming pool. Things like that you don't get to see on a regular basis, right? It kind of melted my heart when my son texted me and said, "Oh, I just got back from," it's his niece, so my granddaughter from my daughter. I just got back from my niece's recital, and she was so adorable. Oh, I can't see all that stuff. So yeah, obviously, there's going to be important life events that I just miss out on, or you miss out on if you're going to be living this lifestyle. Over time, some friendships actually get stronger while some friendships fade away. Relationships don't always survive the distance, and that can even be with some family members. I was a little closer to my sisters before I started this journey, and now we don't communicate as much because of the time schedule, when they're working, when I'm on ships and things like that. But I actually talk to my brothers, three of my 4 brothers. I talk to more often than I did before I was living full-time on cruise ship. So it just works out that way. I don't know how to explain it. It just depends on the dynamics of your family, right? Your family and your friends. And that's just the people cost. There's also the cost of not having a place that's actually yours. The second thing is you don't really have a home. You have a cabin. You have your favorite ships. You have some familiar crew, and you have your favorite ports that you go to, and most of your ports are going to be the same ones that you go to over and over, but you don't have a couch that remembers you. You don't have you don't have your favorite chair. You don't have a place where everything goes exactly where you left it, or a permanent home base, right? The reality is your home changes every few weeks, and once you give up a traditional home, even simple errands can become complicated. Hey friend, so this video is not about the financial cost of living full-time on cruise ships, but if you are planning to live an alternative lifestyle, whether it's on cruise ships or any other alternative lifestyle, or you're just looking for some additional guidance, some simple tools, some video training from me about the financial aspects of your life and to help you plan, make sure you check out Retire Without Millions. I'll leave a link to it in the video description. You can take a look before you purchase and see if it's something that you think will help you. The number 3 thing that is a hidden cost of living full-time on cruise ships is that convenience becomes planning. You will still need a dentist. You're still going to need a doctor. You're still going to have your eye appointments. You still have to get your prescription medications refilled. Occasionally, you're going to need new electronics. So phones die. Occasionally, laptops die. I'm on my 3rd year, so it was time for me to get another laptop. Tablets, whatever your other electronics, cameras, sometimes those things go away. Some paperwork might need to be updated, and sometimes you need to renew your ID, so that needs to happen. You might need to resolve some banking issues. For instance, I just got a notification from one of my banks. Now, for credit cards, it's recommended that you have at least 3 and that they have non-foreign transaction fees, or they will reimburse you for foreign transaction fees. At least 3. I have 7. An abundance of caution, right? I just got a notification from one of my credit card companies that they are doing some kind of change, and they're sending me a new credit card, and it's one of the ones that I use on a regular basis. Well, now that one has to come out of rotation until I actually pick up the physical one. Yes, I can get a virtual card, but I can't use that when I'm going to, the grocery store to get snacks and different things like that. So those are the types of things that you have to deal with. And of course, your non-junk mail is going to have to be handled, right? If you have, I was talking about ID, so your driver's license, depending on what state you're in, your driver's license is going to expire. Or if you don't have a driver's license, your state ID, if you have a state ID, or your passport, that's only good for, is it 10 years, I think? I think there's some exceptions to that, but the majority of passports expire in 10 years. So depends on when you got your passport before you start this journey, you might have to renew that. And the reality is, things that take an hour to do on land can become a whole project when you're moving from ship to ship. And even when you solve all of that, there's another challenge that people rarely talk about. Number 4 is the cost of starting over. So every embarkation day means a new cabin, new crew, a new dining room, a new routine, the new ship layout, and of course, new neighbors. The reality is, some people like me, we love constant change, or at least it doesn't bother us too much. And people wonder about, oh, don't you ever get tired of packing and unpacking? No. I have one suitcase full of stuff. I have one backpack with electronics, and then I have another bag that has my essential stuff. So my medicines, my little retractable chair / stool, my important papers that I keep on me. But yeah, I got one suitcase. That's and my electronics. It takes 2 minutes to pack up the electronics, and maybe at the most, maybe 10-15 minutes, because I like for everything to be in a certain order. So it doesn't take me long to pack or unpack. Not a big deal for me. But some people like the constant change like me, or we're not bothered by it. Whereas some other people get tired of rebuilding their lives every few weeks, and this would not work for them. And that's even before you get to one of the hardest parts of cruise life. One of the hardest parts of cruise life is that travel days are work. Yes, they often include, not all the time, every travel day is different, right? Sometimes it could just be, you might keep the same cabin, and it might just be leaving out of your cabin, going through the Customs and Border Patrol, and then coming back to your cabin. Those are the easy ones. It might be you're going to another cabin where you got to pack your stuff up. Someone from your cabin store is going to bring your luggage to the next room, and then you unpack it. Again, you still got to go to Customs and Border Patrol, or it might require you getting off the ship. It might involve airports or hotels. It might involve some kind of transfers, delayed flights, canceled flights, lost luggage. One time going to Atlanta, my carry-on bag, they broke the handle on it, and yeah, I was annoyed by that because I was in a hurry and I didn't really have time to go to the I think it was Delta, and go and put in a claim because I was in a real big hurry, and I had to weigh the option of, I'm trying to get to my granddaughter's birthday party, and now I got this broken handle on this luggage, and I can't really, it was hard for me to run through the airport, but it was really important for me to get to that birthday party in time. So yeah, things like that happen. I mean, sometimes you make claims for it and they'll reimburse you, and sometimes, like I have Samsonite luggage, so I could just take it to them and have them replace it with no questions asked. So but it's still a hassle, still something that you have to deal with. Sometimes travel day might mean train rides, it might mean taxi rides, Ubers, getting from one ship to the next. And the reality is that the cruise itself might be relaxing, but getting to the cruise often is not. But here's something that I didn't expect when I started living full-time on cruise ships, and that is that freedom can become decision fatigue. You are constantly having to make decisions. Where to go next, which cruise line, which ship you're going to get on, which cabin, how long of a cruise length, do you have a deal, do you not have a deal, are you going to which countries, which itineraries, are you going to stay longer, or are you going to move on, are you going to keep doing back-to-back cruises on this one ship? And the reality is most people dream about unlimited choices, which can be heavenly, but unlimited choices can eventually become exhausting if you allow them to be. And all of those costs lead to what I think is the biggest hidden cost of all. The biggest hidden cost of all is that most people will not understand your life. People will say things like, I could never do that. When are you coming home, or when are you going home? What about retirement? What about stability? Do you miss having a house? What if something happens? And in my early days, I think that question has kind of calmed down a little bit now that my channel's been out for a while and a lot of people kind of understand where I'm at right now. But the biggest question I used to get all the time was, what happens if you run out of money? And of course my answer was, well, that could happen if you're living on land too. What happens if you run out of money? You go live under a bridge, or you go get a job, or you go stay with family, you make changes. Living on cruise ships running out of money would be no different. So I was just taken aback at how many people ask that question, when to me it's just, I mean, I'm still living a normal life. I just happen to be, my home is on the water instead of on land. Still takes money. Can't run out of money. Got to make sure that you don't run out of money, for sure. And eventually you stop trying to explain it, and you stop trying to convince people. You stop asking for permission to live your life the way that you want to live it. You realize that some people are never going to understand your choices, and you can answer them till you're blue in the face, right? They're just not going to understand it, whether you've told them 100 times or they're asking for the first time. The reality is, living differently comes with a price, and that's the real price of freedom. I've spent less money living on cruise ships than many people spend maintaining a traditional life. But the biggest costs were not financial. The biggest costs were social, logistical, emotional, and psychological. They were the things that I could not put in a spreadsheet. Living differently always comes with a price, whether it's on cruise ships, in an RV, living abroad, being an expat, being a nomad, going couch surfing. Living differently is always going to come with a price. The question isn't whether there's a price. The question is whether your freedom is worth paying for. And for me, the freedom has been worth every one of them. Whether they are temporary or I possibly decide later that I want to return to living on land still remains to be seen. But for now, I'm becoming a better version of myself. I'm loving every moment of it. And the moments that I do choose to return home to visit my family and friends are all the more special. Even for people who don't have family back home, there are still a lot of hidden costs for them. And hopefully this video gives you a touch of reality. If you live full-time on cruise ships, what other things do you pay for in order to have this life that I didn't list in this video? If you don't yet, but you're planning to live full-time on cruise ships, let me know your thoughts about the above costs. Thanks for watching. Hope you have an amazing day, and I hope to see you on the next cruise.